Sup, man?
How you doing?
So I just wanted to ask you, what do you know about human rights?
So in general, how you feel about human rights issues here in the US?
What do you know about human rights?
I feel it's a right to feel safe and to just have equal opportunities among each other and respect those opportunities and what entails.
More of like what I'm concerned with the U.S. is like the stuff that the U.S. is doing like around the world, like basically like backing places like Saudi Arabia and backing places like Israel, when pretty much like they're very bad in terms of human rights. So, I mean, yeah, and even in this country, there's a lot of things that we could do better.
Poverty in a lot of countries, the fact that I think it's 80 people have the same wealth as the rest of the people in the world. People can't afford to live. Teachers have to have 2 jobs to survive. It's minimum wage is nothing. And then you go overseas at the moment. I can't remember which country it is. People are being stoned now for being gay and stuff like that.
I think it's a big issue when you are looking at like human trafficking and stuff. I know back in high school we used to talk a lot about human trafficking. We had a survivor actually come and speak, which was great. It rose awareness. I also used to live in like Oklahoma, and they have like the biggest corridor for that. So I know it's like a big issue, even though it's not really spoken about. It's kind of like taboo. But yeah, I think it's a big thing.
I know that it varies with countries, right? So some countries have more human rights than others, and it's basically a reflection of what we think about each other. And it's a shame that in a lot of countries you can, get prosecuted or die simply because of the way you are, that you were born, things you have no control over, things that are trivial almost. We have a lens every time we look at someone and they don't, look like us or fit into a neat category of what we think they should be. But at the end of the day, I think we're all humans and we all make our own life in this world, and we should respect each other for those choices that we make.
Here in the U.S., I do feel as if there's a percentage of people that's not addressed or identified or even given, opportunities to be granted, a platform to be successful. Especially coming from where I'm from, I do feel as if a lot of people in my environment are forgotten about. That's definitely why I came towards FSU, or just to go to college, just to bring back something to my community, and hopefully I can uplift them.
There are people that are less fortunate, that aren't being taken care of, and we definitely need to put our best foot forward to help these people that are more unfortunate. I mean, honestly, I think it's ridiculous that we have people that are getting paid millions of dollars to play games, when there's people that don't have anything. We have people that are buying $1 million cars or thousands of dollars worth of shoes and outfits and clothing and jewelry, and you have people that don't have a place to live or eat. It's unfortunate that we as a people haven't been able to understand this and see this and be able to provide more for each other. In the United States, we have to provide for everyone. I mean, we're coming into a new time now that we have to be more conscious of our people, of the people around us, and help each other so that we could build into the future to preserve humanity and just be better as a people. We're failing and we're doing bad. As individuals, someone might be doing good, but I mean, as a people, we need to do better.
I think it goes a lot deeper into disabilities and a lot of other things like that, and how humans have grown throughout time. There's always going to be, my 9th grade history teacher said it perfectly, people are always going to be corrupt and greedy, and the extent to how corrupt and greedy we are has really shrunk down a little bit, came back, shrunk down, came back, and I just think for society as a whole to limit how corrupt and greedy we are, people need to speak out. And that's how change happens.
We teach people that we have something called agency, and agency is the ability to choose between right and wrong. And we're given that ability from God. And so nobody should be able to take that away from us. So we need to be using our voice.
I think it all starts out in your community, kind of like she was saying earlier, on the smaller scale, and then making that voice heard and going up.
How would you bring something to your community?
Well, one is education, because when people don't know, they just don't care. So I think that's just the best way to address a lot of issues. just education about how to maintain your neighborhood or waste management. I guess another thing would be to provide opportunities. So as I know, in my area, a lot of book clubs or like the reading fair used to come around, but they completely stopped that, and a lot of kids used to actually feel passionate about buying books. And like one of those touching moments was my mom actually giving children money to go buy some books.
Because here we value different things, right? That's all where it comes from, is like our values and our ability to change. And I think those countries are since they're so extreme, they've become inflexible to change. They don't want to hear another perspective. They think that that's right, and that's not the only way. Their way is the only way. And I think that's very dangerous.
And I'm also concerned because my country in Panama is dealing with corruption as well, and that's how everything starts. And not only is it fear for my own country, but fear for Venezuelan people because they're dying and they're starving, and that's just not right, and it's a human crisis. And yeah. I mean, there's definitely tension because people are different and they like appeal to their freedom so much that they forget about the freedom of other people. But I mean, there's like a lot of young activists and young people that are fighting for the things that are right. So there's definitely hope.
That's really nice. So